All right, all you snowboarders of the internet, we're here, we're live, we're answering your questions that you submitted for the 20 questions giveaway to win this Rosinal Sashimi 156 that I rode for one day. So it's still in really good shape though. But yeah, so I picked 20 questions out of all the ones that were submitted, and believe me, there was a lot of really bad submissions because some people don't understand how to read or comprehend spoken instructions on what actually was going to go on with this. So I tried to pick 20 solid questions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and just answer them, and then we're going to go back through and go in the order that I answered them. They're going to get a spin of the wheel. 1 in 20 chance that someone's going to win this snowboard. So what we're doing is basically read your question, answer it. Afterwards, I'm going to go right in the same order, spinning until someone wins that snowboard. There is a bonus prize available. It is a set of goggles. Brand new goggles. I don't know which goggles they are, though, because I bought a shitload of them from a rep, and so they're all sampled. But yeah. So that's where we're at. After that is all done, I may take a few more questions from people, so save your questions till the end. Right now it's for everyone else that we got going on here. Just to give I'm going to wait till there's a few more people in the chat till we can get everything going on here. So what's going on? Right now, running out the rest of the season at A-Basin, finishing up product reviews on stuff. If you're a member of Angry Snowboarder VIP, June 1st, you'll start getting a review a day in written form on there. Right now, there's 74 reviews that are done. So we'll go from there. Ooh, somebody hit up the angry line. I like this meme. It just says Gilson with an angry cartoon face. Is that Ed and Eddie, maybe? I don't know. That's not me. So, yeah. But, yeah. So, we're going to do real goggles. They're from a legitimate brand. So, none of that Amazon bullshit. But, yeah. So, that's what we've been going on. Doing that. Dealing with a bunch of life shit. It bruised my right ribs. Bruised like 5 of them about a week and a half ago. So, I've been dealing with that. Had a death in the family and some other stuff. So, that's why you guys haven't seen top 5 videos or live streams. We're doing that. Also, with May coming up, there'll be more content. And then come June, I'm going on vacation. I won't be back till after the 4th of July. The other big news, I got a puppy. So if we go over 20,000 subscribers next live stream, I will introduce the puppy to everyone. If we don't, you guys don't get to see the puppy. Well, yes. And I did buy an attack dog. Vicious attack dog that's 11 weeks old. She's like 23 pounds. I'm going to feed her nothing but human growth hormone and steak. So, yeah. So that's what we got going on here. So, anyways, we got a few more people coming in. That's where we're at. I'm going to start answering these questions. And, you know, there was a good variety of questions. There was some, and part of the reason that I did this contest this way was I wanted to see where the gaps were that people aren't getting a video for me to answer stuff. So there's like a lot of 3D shape questions, whatnot. I'm just going to make a video about that and go from there. But I wanted to keep it kind of more snowboard cultural relevant in there. The other thing is people do not understand directions. When I say don't ask me like personal questions, it was a lot of like, hey, why are you like this? What is this? What is this? I was like, oh my God, you're fucking the worst. But you know, my favorite dumb question, though, that I got asked was, moving to Colorado for the first time this summer, want to get into snowboarding. What is your recommendation on how to best get into the sport? You literally came to try to win a fucking snowboard because you're one of those people that's moving to Colorado that doesn't snowboard. Go fuck yourself. I don't give a fuck about you. You fuck off. So there was that. Also, my favorite was the guy from the last live stream that tried to say that I was a washed up, never was pro. I never wanted. The last time I wanted to be pro was February 25th, 2002. So almost 20 years ago. So that was kind of funny to see that one. Also, I hope everyone liked the top 5 from this week. That it wasn't one of my best works, but there was definitely some humor in there, I thought, for everyone. So yeah. Okay, let's see. All right. Okay. So let's see. We got 70 of you guys in here. So we're going to start just answering these questions. I've got them in an order that I want to go with. I'm not moving them around or anything. This is just how I placed them in there. No one question is better than the other out of the 20 that I selected. And like I said, we're just going to go down through these 20 questions. I'm going to answer them after all 20 questions have been answered. Then I'm going to go back through, and everyone's just going to get a spin of the wheel in the row. I'm just down in how we did everything. But basically, we got one board winner and one bonus prize winner. Otherwise, they'll be winning small sticker, jumbo stickers, stuff like that. And what I'll do is I'll go back through and just leave a message on the comment that they left and just saying, hey, you won this, you won that, So, all right. Okay, so the first question comes from Dr. Creepy. What company do you think has damaged snowboarding culture? And, there was a lot of these questions in there. Like, I feel like people just looked at other people's questions and then tried to reword it. But this question, I think, is like the most, and it was the first one like this. It's such a double-edged sword to look at this and go, which company damaged snowboarding culture? And there's so many ways you can do about it because so many brands make up the culture and how they do everything. And the culture is so entwined with the brands. That's always how it's been. And if I had to say one company that's damaged, it's also the same company that's done the most, and that's Burton. For every good thing they've done fucked up shit. And it's so cyclical to watch how they do things, and it's just like, it's almost like it's just the snake eating itself. It just goes in the infinitum around in circles there, and you're just like, why do you do this? Like, you try to bring the change about, then you do something fucked up. Then when everyone else does it, you try to chastise them, and it just goes in the circles. It's like when they tried to trademark the word snowboard, and then through a ghost company tried to send cease and desist to brands. The fact that they keep popping out proprietary technology that forces people into their stuff, so that when other brands jump on it, they go and they make yet another one, and it just creates this vicious cycle. Their supply chain, the fact that for years they were, we got to support the mom and pop shop. And then literally all they're doing now is opening stores across the street from mom and pop shops. For every good thing that they do fucked up shit at the same time. And you just sort of sit there and you're like, are you gaslighting us? Like, what's going on? So that's the way I look at that question more than anything. And I know there was other people that answered or asked the same question, but it was it's just so many people building on that original one from Dr. Creepy. All right, so the next question comes from Bobby Simkova. Hi. Is there a difference in construction between men's and women's boards of the same size? Is it a mistake for a woman to ride a man's board? I'm 5'6", 125 pounds, currently on the 149 Ride Machete, not the GT, which is awesome. Don't ride the GT. That thing fucking sucked. And was on the 151 Rome Reverb prior to that. I asked because there are more options available in man's boards. Thanks. So realistically, you got to look at it this way. Snowbirds don't know if you have indoor or outdoor plumbing between your legs. They don't. They don't know. What they're designed for is the downward weight and pressure being put on it, coupled with the size of your boot. So this is a question that realistically there isn't a difference, but there is. So if you're an average built woman, are you going to be able to ride the exact same board built for the average guy? Weight difference is going to be somewhere between, I think, like 25 to 60 pounds difference for the guy versus the woman. And that's going to change the actual flex of the board and how it actually drives. Now, when I think about this, it's like I said, they don't know what kind of genitalia you got. They just know what kind of pressure. Now, women carry their weight at a different spot. They carry it more around their hips, and they have this thing called chick hip where they throw their hip into the turns. That does change the dynamic of how a board's going to carve. With that said, is a muscular woman going to ride the same as a 12-year-old boy? Probably even more aggressive than that. But is a 250-pound guy going to ride the same as a 125-pound woman or a 150-pound woman? No, it's not. It's not going to do that. And what the big difference is in there, while some companies do shrink and pink, so they just narrow it, make it smaller, and put a girl graphic on it, some companies actually take into consideration, they try to build it around the average female size, which is like, I think an 8.5 or 9 boot, 5'6" to 5'8", and somewhere between 125 and 155, 160 pounds, somewhere in there. So they try to put it in there. Can a woman ride a guy's board? Yes. Can a guy ride a women's board? Yes, but they won't. And I think about one of the questions I got asked one time from a guy. He sent me an email, and I think he had like a 5.5 boot. So he had a really tiny foot, and he was about 98 pounds, just a tiny little guy. And he kept bitching that the smallest size he could find for what he wanted was a 152. And my response was, have you thought about just riding the women's equivalent? And he wouldn't have it. And he was like, I struggle to find boots. And I was like, why don't you just buy a 5.5 women's boot? It's more likely you can find that boot in that women's size. I was like, you got a small foot, you got small stature. Why are you constantly and perpetually hurting yourself? Like, I'm telling you to do this. It's like my friend Eric. So Eric's a bigger guy. He's probably about 180 pounds, 5'7", but he's got a size 6 foot. When we were looking at boots, the best boot for him that we could find was actually a women's DC Judge. It was stiff enough for him. It fit his foot shape. It worked with him. And so he bought them, and he was kind of skeptical. And he's like, well, we'll see how this goes. At day 60 of the season on that boot, I got a random text message from him like, bro, best boots I've ever had in 15 years of snowboarding. This changed my riding. Everything's so much more dialed. My bindings, like, I got them all set and stuff. That's the big thing. Like, I don't think people really fully understand that. Like, every snowboard is unisex. Now, the big difference in women's to guys technology does actually come in the boot and the binding. Women have a lower calf, so the boot has a lower cutout. The high back on the binding goes a little bit lower as well. Those are the differences that you encounter with something like this. And unfortunately, I think people get too hung up on it. Like, I've ridden women's boards. I don't have a problem admitting that. I don't have a problem saying I've done it. Some have been fun, some haven't. I mean, if you really want to talk about something hilarious, the Battalion Thunder is the women's Storm. They just made it for guys. They actually made it like bigger for guys, but it was based off of a women's model. And Kevin is in love with the Nidecker Odyssey, which is a women's powder board, but he's got a size 8.5 or 9 boot. He's only like 160 pounds. He can totally ride that in a 152 and not have a problem with it. So, don't rule out, oh, it's a guy's board, I can't do it. Ask yourself, the better question is, do I have the weight, the muscle, the riding ability to handle riding this board? Like, I have no problem telling women, I'll be like, yeah, you can go do it. Or sometimes I'm like, that's a little bit too much board. Why don't we look at the women's contemporary, because the core is milled thinner, or it's got a different layer of fiberglass in there just to give it a little bit more flex, because you don't have the weight or the muscle for it. Now, at the same time, you might have the muscle for it. And the same can be said with guys. So, that's kind of the roundabout answer I have for that one. All right. We got one from Ska W. What do you think about the spoon noses and 3D shaping in general? Next big thing, or maybe even dangerous for flat base riding? I have read in a thread that some people are scared that chunks of snow that hit the spoon will redirect the board to a non-predictable direction, which might result in catching a wrong edge. Those people need to learn how to fucking snowboard and stop bitching about the fact that they don't know how to fucking snowboard on the internet. Oh, my 3D spoon shape, it got hit. You know what? You know why it got hit? Because all your weight's on the back foot. You're riding with your weight on the back foot with your front leg straight leg. Stop taking advice from Snowboard Pro Camp. Learn how to put your weight in the front of the board. You won't have to worry about it being redirected, but you're riding, sitting on that back foot, James Beastie style. So when it hits, yeah, you got all your weight on that back, so it pivots you. That part, That's why I chose this question, because I was fucking pissed when I read this, because I know there's fucking idiots out there that don't know how to fucking snowboard, thinking that their equipment is at fault. No, a poor craftsman blames his tools. You got a good tool, you don't know how to fucking use it right. That's the issue with it. Now, to go into the other parts of the question, spoon noses and 3D shaping. We've hit a point in technology where presses and everything for building the snowboard and the 3D shaping have come together with the materials and the design aspect of it, so that everyone can actually build a board and create a hull-like effect so it funnels the snow out to the side and whatnot. 3D shaping isn't going anywhere. 3D shaping is great. I love 3D shaping. It has its place. It works well. It's great. I'm actually trying to look for a visual aid. Give me 1 second. There we go. So here's the Yes 420 powder hull. And what you have is you have the scoop in the nose right here. So what this is doing is breaking up any of that friction and allowing it to funnel different in there. Yes, it makes total sense. Can you stone grind this board? That's going to take a lot of extra work, but no. It makes sense. 3D shaping, it's not anything new either. Like, everyone's like, oh, everyone's doing 3D shaping. What happened is, I love it. I got some questions like, Burton's doing it now. Burton's done it before. You guys don't remember center scoop. You guys don't remember, what was it? It wasn't the Sherlock. It was, God, what was it? Anyways, they had a park board that had it. They had a few other ones. There was like the whammy bar. There's a bunch of it. This is tech that they've worked on for over 10 years now that they brought back because materials, shaping, design, engineering principles have all gotten better. So it makes more sense. It does work. We're going to see more of it. I mean, and some of it will be to the furthest extreme as they slightly refine it year over year. And some of it is more dialed in. Like when you look at the Jones spoon tech in the nose, so you got like 1, 2, and 3. When you put it flat and you actually look at it, it's not that much of a bevel to it. It's not crazy spooned out. It's very mellow, and it subtly changes the way the board rides, and it gives you a more nuanced feel to it. It does work. Like when I was helping Marhar develop the Lumberjack, when we designed that, part of the reason that I knew that I could go to them is that they had their sideways rocker. Well, their sideways rocker, if you put a straight edge on it, it's like 1.5 millimeter right at the edge that it's elevated off the snow. That's just enough that when you're flat basing, it takes that friction and that drag up so you can actually keep your speed better in the flat because it's not digging in to slow you down. It's not a braking effect in there. That's all it is for them, something like that. But then when you look at like a battalion with its 3BT and how it's flat and then it goes up like this, it's more aggressive, and as it's at the contact point on camber, it changes the whole roll dynamic from edge to edge. It also changes how the board hooks up when you're buttering or jibbing. You lose that effect in there. Every company does it different, and it is here to stay. Now, when you look at some of the more aggressive stuff from Burton, where it's like the channels and stuff in there, there's going to be issues with that down the road. Maintenance-wise, there will be issues. But does it work? To an extent, yes. I haven't ridden it enough to sit here and go, oh, yeah, this makes total sense. But I can remember riding boards with power channels on it and going, oh, okay, this makes some sense to me. So, you know, but overall, 3D shaping actually helps you with flat basing as long as it's not like this. So, all right. All right. Let's see what we got. Okay, we got our boy Ken Schulman. I finally got to ride a volume shifted board and loved it. The shorter, fatter board seemed to perform similar to my longer, narrower boards, but felt way more nimble, especially charging in the trees. What advantage do you see to staying on a standard length and width board compared to a volume shifted board? So you got to understand with the volume shift, you're still essentially having the same surface area. You're just pulling it from further out back underfoot. Like, to use this Yes 420, this, this is a 154, and it's 42.8 dm squared, which is, I believe that is the referral to how much surface area that it actually has across everything. But so you're taking this added length, which changes the whole dynamic of how you turn in tight trees and how you turn in general, because you're pushing and pulling down in, well, I shouldn't say pushing, but you're pushing down to drive the board out further. You're bringing that steering back in. That's why it's more nimble, because it's like driving a 77 Cadillac Eldorado. Now, let's say you go take that to a town that was built in the 1920s for a Model T Ford, and you've got to go do a 3-point turn, but you can't hop the curb with it. What's going to happen? You're going to make it like a 5-point turn. Now, let's say you go take a Honda Fit to the same thing, which is smaller than a Model T. You're blowing donuts in the middle of the street. It's the same concept in there. It's the radius of it, because you don't have that added length. It's shorter underfoot. So it just changes that dynamic of how that actually works for you and how that's actually going to turn for you. So be aware of that. But the big thing is, if you do a lot of drops and stuff with some of these volume shifted boards, you lose that tail. I mean, it's literally right at the end of, to like use the sashimi that we're giving away here. So that's the last insert. That's the contact point. I mean, that is essentially my middle finger to my thumb wide. That's how much tail you have to land on and stomp if you drop something. What's going to happen if you don't have a lot of tail? You're just going to whoosh and get shit whipped to the ground on there. That's how that happens. There is a reason to stay with riding a normal length board, but it goes back to having the right tools for the job. And I love volume shifted boards. I have a Telos Backslash. I have a K2 Coolbing, but I also have an Endeavor Archetype. All great powder boards, all good boards for turning on. Each one represents a different type of terrain and for a different type of riding style if I need it. It's the right tool for that job of the day. So, yeah, hopefully that helps everyone. And, I know we got 118 people in here, so I'll just say this again. We've got I'm going to be answering 20 questions that were submitted to a video, going in order. After I answer those questions are going to get a spin of the wheel. 1 in 20 chance someone of those questions that was picked is going to win. Afterwards, I may take your guys' questions, but for right now, this is kind of just a test run just to see how this worked. I don't think we'll ever do this contest format again. People didn't understand how to ask the right questions. So, all right. So we got the next question from Trevor Klassen. The snowboarding industry saw a decline in participation of 28% between 2003 and 2013. Cool. Old data. The average industry growth of skiing and snowboarding declined by 1.9% from 2015 to 2020, but that decline was because of the pandemic. Not always necessarily, too. There was 2 bad winters in there. Largely, there were favorable economic conditions and participation grew through most of those 5 years. Overall, the ski and snowboard industry is worth about $3.5 billion annually in the U.S., putting aside the anomaly of 2020. But snowboarding is our concern, not skiing, and snowboarding is far less popular. I think we're okay with that. We like being different, but we still want the industry to thrive and companies to develop the sport both culturally and technically with sensible, progressive innovations. Snowboarding also has the advantage of better content, but really, how many snowboard companies are actually doing well? How do we make sure contests like Natural Selection and the Freeride World Tour reach new borders more so than contests like the Burton Open or X Games that focus on spinning to win? My real question is this: how do we snowboarders properly introduce our bliss to new borders so as to instill cultural growth so that the industry can thrive without being an utter corporate clown show, and that more snow participants understand the fuller side of the snowboarding culture? So I love the fact that you tied in Natural Selection with Dew Tour X Games. One of the funniest things I saw was Natural Selection Stop One's video in 12 hours had 500,000 views, while X Games, I think it was X Games. It might have been Dew Tour, but I'm pretty sure it was X Games. X Games, like snowboard contest, had 50,000 views in a week. Big fucking difference there in the amount of people that were watching it because no one cared because it's such a stale ass format. You know they're going to throw a 1440 triple cork mute every fucking time. There's going to be 10 people that throw the exact same thing, 1440 triple cork mute. You know, unless it's Renee Renecongas that's doing something. So what's going on with that is people are even getting fed up with it and they're looking for alternative things to watch. Well, Red Bull did a great job of promoting natural selection. It did do that. It was fine. Now, if we were talking about how do we introduce people to that different side of snowboarding, you have to approach it as if you are the gatekeeper and be like, what would I show my friends that talk about snowboarding to stoke them on? Are you going to show them a Jimmy Fuckhouse edit? Probably not. But you might show them a Yagoons edit instead. That makes more sense. Are you going to be like, hey, let's all get together and watch the X Games? No. But you're going to sit down and watch natural selection. You know, the hype's there. Are you going to watch a friggin' stupid vlog video about someone doing the same fucking back three to a knuckle every single fucking time, no matter where they go? No. You're going to go show them the Holy Boly edit that just dropped. That's the thing. Like, I see a lot of comments from people like, snowboarding's dead, snowboarding's dying. It ebbs and flows. There's so many things. So we had better sell-through on gear this year than any other year in this century. And that's with product being cut, closeouts being blown out, a pandemic raging globally that a lot of people couldn't get there. People were still buying equipment. I moved $339,000 worth of product for 2020. I've moved $155,000 worth of product since the first of this year. That is a fuck ton of snow product to move in a pandemic, which kudos to everyone that's buying and can afford to do it. But at the same time, you know, we want to talk about like the cultural relevancy of things and how we can increase participationship and stoke. It's all about who you actually choose to support and who you think is the best version of someone to represent that gatekeeper or that cultural relevance. Like, I stopped reading magazines for the most part years ago, and then this past start of the season, I bought Torment Mag, I bought Curator Volume 3, I bought Heroes. You know, I bought a whole bunch of different books, which were absolutely amazing for snowboarding and did a great job of really promoting it. And, you know, I try to share the stoke where I can. Like, if you follow me on Instagram, @AngrySnowboarder, I will post up just edits, clips, stuff from people that are doing stuff that I think is rad for snowboarding. It's cool to see, you know. That's kind of where we're at with things. The whole numbers game thing, they count people that snowboard once a year as active participants. I mean, the average amount of days that the average snowboarder, I mean, let's be real, it's a person that snowboards, goes is 4.5. Okay, I've ridden and I'm still riding. I believe right now, I think I'm at 112 days so far this season. And I'm going to go a few more and then I'm going to be done. But, you know, like, I wanted to get out and ride as much as possible this year. And that's the thing is, like, if you're going to try to stoke people out and stuff, the other thing would be, or one of the things that you should be looking at is check the small little mom and pop hills and see if they're doing like $20 Thursday tickets or something weird like that. Look for those things. Go after those things. Try to help people with that. You know, I get a lot of comments from like, well, my friend recommended this board for me. And I'm like, your friend's a fucking moron. You've ridden 3 days in your life. You don't need a fucking Golden Orca. You don't need it. Like, I don't know why you fucking think you need this. This is the type of shit that I see. Or my favorite of the people are like, well, I just upsized in boots. And I'm just like, wait, why? You know, we're creating for those people bad experiences. And if they have a bad experience, they're not going to come back. But if they have a good experience and then another good experience and then another good experience, they're going to keep coming back. And you know what else they're going to do? They're going to tell people the other thing that we have going on that no one wants to fucking talk about. And I've been hounding this out for 7 years, 8 years now. Guys my age that quit snowboarding after college because they had wife, kids, life, job, career are coming back with more expendable income and the next generation of little kids. And they're teaching them to snowboard. My neighbors have a 16-month-old. That kid has a drop-in ramp with a jump at 16 months old. And he can do it. My good friend's daughter, who is also 16 months, she went up to the resort, I think, every Saturday with mom, and mom would take her on the chairlift on the bunny hill and hold her hand in her little Burton riglet and let her ride down the hill. That's where we're going with this stuff. And those numbers, no one seems to be paying attention to the people that are coming back with their families and how that's growing. That is a growing segment, a hugely growing segment right there. I don't really look at the numbers. Like every time someone's like, snowboarding's dead, there's a decline. And I was like my favorite was one of the articles, the guy went off on this whole tangent about the decline of everything in California and how there was less people snowboarding. Well, they'd had 4 years of back-to-back drought or something obscene like that. Well, who the fuck wants to schlep all their shit back up to Tahoe for the chance to ride around in pissing rain? They don't want to. But you have a good snow year or you have a pandemic and then you reopen everything. Those people have been cooped up. They want to get the fuck out of their house. They're going for it. So, the big thing is to be the steward that you want to be and foster your local community. Like there's this global community, and that's what we've got going on here at Angry, is this fostered global community. But it's those little communities that really matter in how you foster them. Like, this is part of the reason why I donate gear to the Shred Foundation. I never lived in the Hudson Valley. I mean, I'm from New York, but the Hudson Valley was 7 hours east from where I grew up. I still send Danny and stuff there. That helps foster those kids. That's because the way their program works isn't just to take kids to the mountain and let them snowboard. It's to help them build careers and stuff. And that's the way it is. Like, I look at my old intern, Travis, who's now 21. Well, I got Travis when he was 11 years old at Woodward at Copper. He randomly was in the back of a van we were driving in, and I was like, oh my God, we have a camper. That kid has been with me since then, and I am so proud of everything that he's done when he was working at Powder Tools, how he's helped Yes and Now and Jones, Vans, Burton, watching where he's gone, working in shops, working with reps, what he's become as a person. But I can look back at the influence that I had on his life and the direction that I've helped shape him in. And it's amazing. And now I see him in his early 20s dealing with kids that are like in high school coming in to work in the shop, and they're working with him and he's helping them. And you see that, and that facilitates it. And there's always going to be kids that you lose, and there's going to be people that they just don't fucking make it. And that's fine, but you foster it, That is the big thing. It's like choosing the right people to foster, investing that time, and building it where it needs to be. So, yeah. All right. This is a funny one from Hunter Guynap. How do we convince Jonathan Buckshit that he is not a pro snowboarder? Funny Buckhouse story yesterday. I'm on the fucking chairlift at a basin. Powder day. Use that term loosely. It's like 4 inches of heavy pow. And who is standing in the flats after getting shit whipped trying to find the lens from his shitty ass Amazon goggles? Jimmy motherfucking Fuckhouse right there. So first off, he's trying. So to go back to this question, because I love shitting on this kid. I've just hit the point where like his ego needs to be so far put in check. I'm pretty sure that kid's never been punched in the fucking mouth. So if someone ever hits him in the mouth, it'll check him really hard. But his ego needs to be in check. But one of the funny things is his fan base started referring to him as a professional snowboarder. So he ran with it. Well, now he's getting backlash for it. So he's like, the haters were the ones that were calling me a professional snowboarder. No, the haters were calling you out for saying you saying you were a professional snowboarder. Don't try to pull some Tucker Carlson level shit here. You're a fucking mental midget. Let's be honest. You need a fucking snowboarding speak and spell. because you're dumb as fuck. So let's go with that. But you really want to do it. And you know, the funny thing is people are always trying to stir the pot with me and him. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I don't watch his videos. I don't do anything. I don't give a fuck about him. And you want to know what? All he cares about is YouTube views, likes, clicks, because that's where he makes his fucking money. If you don't watch him, you don't recommend him, you make sure in your YouTube recommendations, you be like, I don't want to see it. That hurts the algorithm, which hurts him getting his stuff. So why wouldn't you do that? Like, I didn't like Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I never watched fucking E. I didn't give a fuck about him. In fact, anytime in my news feed that they pull up, I block the fucking thing that talks about him. I'm just like, nope, we're done. That's how you fucking get rid of him. He's like a bad case of herpes. If you just suppress it, it will go away. It might flare up and come back, but that's how you get rid of it. Oh, Jesus Christ, it's Slim Whitman. Slim!
Is it you?
It is. How are you doing, Slim?
I'm okay. I'm in a drive-thru right now. I'm in a drive-thru. I'm getting little Harold Terhay, a burger at a place called a little neighborhood place called In and Out. Have you been to In and Out,
I don't go to cult places. Slim, question for you. Did you send me something?
Why? Why are you asking me that?
Slim, did you send me something?
Why are you asking me that?
Because I got a package in the mail and I'm not sure who sent it to me. I just wanted to know. Did you order me something?
Why don't you just read it and rejoice, you son of a bitch? Okay?
Okay, Slim, I'm opening it. What did we get? Oh my God. It's another Slim Whitman album, and it's I'll Take You Home Again, Kathleen. Slim, thank you so much. This looks so good with the other Slim Whitman up there. Oh, Slim. Oh my gosh. That was amazing. Oh, wow. Whoa. That's some big ass vinyl. Oh God. Slim hung up. He's calling back. Slim?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to be a better example for Harold Terry. I'm so sorry I hung up on you.
Breathe. Slim, thank you for the record.
Listen, David, it's important you know who I really am. I'm not ready to talk about it yet, but I will.
Thank you so much, Slim. You go feed your baby and have a good day, okay? Eat your burger and enjoy, animal style. Bye. Okay, well, just another live stream with Slim Whitman, and we got another Slim Whitman prize. This is amazing. Okay. Let's see. So we got the next question from Osiris. Does edge tech really make that much of a difference, or does it come down to just keeping your edges sharp? Well, keeping your edges sharp will make a huge difference in there, but here's the big thing with edge tech and why it does actually work. So, like, to use this board here. So we will use this Razzle Sashimi, which has a slight mellow serrated edge. It has cam rocker. Well, if you put one of the inlets for the side cut right where the camber meets the rocker, so like right here it comes down, you've created a contact point that's going to give it some grip so it's not like a saucer sled. And that's huge. They do work. And it can change the dynamic. So let's say you had a full cambered board, but you put like a little edge tech on it. So with a traditional cambered snowboard, you would steer out at the contact points. Now when you're on edge, it can get a little sloppy and ice and stuff. But if you have a contact point underfoot, you're going to get a little more added grip. Or like Capita's death grip, where you get that bump in between the feet. When you're on edge, it's gripping. So you've got contact point on the cambered one out at the nose, contact point out at the tail, and contact point in the dead center. It's going to give you that grip. Now, does some work better than others? Yes. And is there some that I just look at and I'm like, this is kind of dumb. It doesn't do anything. Yes. That's the big thing. It does work. Like if you look at Solomon's rad cut equalizer or whatever they call it, where it's like the straight angles and it creates the kink point. I was riding the Solomon Man's board today. It was hooky and it didn't grip as good as it could, like because just of where it's at. Or better example, Never Summer's Vario side cut on their RC Tech. So you've got your reverse with your camber, right? That's the camber profile that they go. Some of them have more camber, some of them have less, okay, whatever. They put the Vario grip inside where the camber zone. So you got this camber out here. So you're loading it. So now you have to steer inside your foot. If they literally would move the Vario 2 centimeters underfoot, you're going to be able to steer right underfoot and have a more locked in feel. That's part of the reason why I think Never Summer's RC Tech is shit these days, because they did that fucking bullshit. So, yeah, Edge Tech does work, but keep your edges sharp. Okay. Next question comes from Jared Ray. In your opinion, how do big repairs on damaged gear hold up? Like dented, cracked edges that need an edge replacement, delamming on the board that needs to be repressed. Is it worth it to get those costly repairs? How much time, in your experience, do they last after the fact? If you have to repress a snowboard, it's fucking dead. It's just fucking dead. Like, it's done. Bury it. Make a bench out of it. Fucking turn it into a shelf. Now, with stuff like cracked edges, if the repair is done right, I've seen shit that's like 4 years old that's had that replaced and it's still running. It's fine. I've also seen it where it wasn't done right and it literally ripped out the next day. At the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, do I want to spend X number of dollars to repair this to keep riding it even though it's damaged and now it's got these points where it could fail on me? Or do I want to take that money and put it towards buying a new board or a new product so that I can go fuck that up instead? That's the big issue with these two. That's how I would do it. So, okay. Next one comes from Alex Chen. Who else in the snowboard review world do you trust to give honest reviews? I know reviews like The Good Ride don't say anything that adds value. They don't say anything. They just fucking regurgitate what the sticker on the bottom says. But I do want to hear more opinions than just yours, who I trust the most, since they may give me some more thoughts on the boards. I don't watch other people's reviews. I don't give a fuck about other reviews. Why would I give a fuck about someone else doing a review on a board that I've ridden for 10 fucking years? I know how it's going to fucking ride. I've been doing it longer than everyone. Literally was the fucking first. So why would I give a fuck about it? With that said, the only time I ever watch a review is when someone's like, you need to see the stupid shit they're saying. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, oh, what? Like, they can't fucking do that. It's up to you to decide who you want to trust. Not me. I shouldn't have to fucking tell you, hey, this guy's so fucking good. I don't give a fuck. I don't watch these fucking things. It's like that fucking chudwhack that hit me up on Instagram. It's like, you need to promote me because I'm doing reviews. And I go and I click on his profile and I was like, what reviews? There's no fucking reviews. I clicked on his YouTube channel. I was like, none. I was like, so you want me to promote something that has nothing? He's like, well, they're coming soon. And I was like, so you don't even have a product. You have nothing. So I started just chewing him out and being like, you fucking suck. You do this. So he goes and he puts together the shittiest 2.5-minute video, which I think like 63 seconds of it was some kind of fucking intro of him walking through a warehouse. Fucking blew my mind. And this is how he did reviews. So this board is like good, like why the fuck would I promote that? I'm not gonna promote that. And that's how I kind of feel when I get people that send me stuff. You ever, like, James Beastie now has been doing this for about half as long as I have, which I'm coming up on like 20 years, which is fucking insane. And he still sits there, spit it out, fucking Porky Pig. Come on there, tubby butt. Let's go do it. Hasn't gotten any better. And every time someone new comes along, I'm just like, and and they're dead in like 6 months. They give up on it. They want to go do something else. I don't give a fuck. Most of them are just looking for free product. I don't give a fuck about free product. I can get free product. I bought more snowboards this year than I've gotten free product this year. I don't give a fuck. Fuck. Who cares? I mean, I'm looking around. There's like 7 snowboards I bought here this year for you guys. It's like, no. It's on you, man. If you want to trust someone, trust them. Look at what they're saying. But ask yourself, are they just regurgitating the shit on the back of the board on the little sticker? Is it just the marketing spiel from the website? Do they actually have an opinion of their own? Are they using numbers to tell you how stiff something is? Okay, what's a 7.5 to them? What does that fucking mean? That's an unquantifiable number at all. It's a 7.5. Yeah. Do they do boot reviews? If they do boot reviews, they're a fucking idiot. Are they consistently riding a different binding boot setup on every board that they review? Wouldn't trust that. There's no consistency. Yeah, I ride the same shit. And I rode it with my Rome Black Label bindings and my K2 3XS boots. Why? Consistency. It's fucking key. Why do I ride the same runs over and over again, hitting the same shit over and over again? Consistency. Why do I try to purposely jib like shit on a board? To see what it does when it slips out, to see how it does. Consistency. They don't have it. I'd love someone else to have it, but they don't. So I'm not going to fucking promote them. Fuck them. They could die. I don't care. Next question. All right, we got Rusty O'Neill 21. My wife refers to herself as a winter widow. What is the best way to get my significant other to get out on the slopes with me? Follow up. Is this even advised? I'm picturing myself wasting at least half of my season getting taken out on the lift and side slipping greens. Well, if you don't have a wife, you don't have a problem. I'm just saying. I mean, you can rent a prostitute. It's way cheaper. That's the angry option right there. You rent the prostitute, you kick her out in the morning, you go shred, you come back, you can call up a different one. It's great. You know? Just saying. No, look, man, there's nothing wrong with couples having different tastes and things. Maybe you got to give up some time to be with her. Maybe she's got to give up some time so you can go shred. If she wants to try it, ease her into it gently. You do not teach her. Get her a fucking lesson. Make sure she's comfortable. Make sure she's well hydrated. Make sure she doesn't have some shit-ass gear that's going to be hooky and crappy and stiff as fuck or just janky and shit. Like, give her an ease into it. You know, like Loveland has a Learn to Ride program. I think it's like 3 lessons or something like that, or 5 lessons and a rental. And then at the end, after you complete it, you get a season pass for the rest of the year. You need to see if your resorts have a program like that, work with it, something like that. That's what you want to do. You want to just ease them in, support them, but don't be the guy that's going to teach her and scream at her. I mean, I've literally watched so many couples just break up on the hill, and I'm just like, suckers. No, like anytime I meet a girl and she's like, oh, you gonna teach me a story? I was like, fuck no. I'm gonna go fucking ride with my boys. I'll meet in the base area. There's the beginner hill. You probably have a lesson over there. Not my fucking problem. See you at 3. You know, that's the way to do it. Or rent a hooker. Don't buy a hooker. That's a pretty woman scenario. And I don't know if you're ready for that. All right. Okay, so we got one here from Rye Fry. We all know that fads often come full circle and repeat themselves years later. What snowboarding fad are you not looking forward to seeing making a comeback? Which one do you want to make a comeback? Neon. I'm not looking forward to fucking Dayglow, horrible, godforsaken neon. Like right now, those fucking Aspens, those microwaves of Aspen, it's like almost right on that level of neon. I'm just like, oh, it's the fucking worst. Oh, kill me fucking now. But what I'm really looking forward to, and it'll come back around, is flowy parks and good local scenes with good riders that have good heads on their shoulders that foster it, because it always happens. It's like about every 7 to 8 years that it happens. And I think we'll see some kind of renaissance with that. Like there'll be riders that come out of nowhere. There'll be just regional man-ams that everyone knows who the fuck they are. That's what I'm looking forward to. Okay, so we got one here from Archie Forrest. What's the best way to pick up support in the industry? What's a good way to reach out to companies without looking like you just want product? You want support? You got to pay your fucking dues. You showing up to demos, you turning screws, you lugging and toting shit for them, you allowing the reps and stuff to go up and ride? Are you making sure that you're an asset to the brand, to the people, so that they work with you? So, funny story. My friend Kobe is what I would call a regional pro, Man-Am, marketing, what have you. I love Kobe. He goes by Cobra Snaker on Instagram, at Cobra Snaker. If you're not following him or his girlfriend, at The Deafness, you're blowing it. Love those guys. But Kobe works for C3, so Union, Capita, Cole, and he works with the local rep, Dave Graves, which their rep group is Children of the Graves. And our boy Jimmy motherfucking Fuckhouse, yeah, it's a lot of fucks in there, reached out to them and was like, hey, I'm a professional YouTube influencer and I could drive sales for you and I could do all this shit for you and I'm going to push these, but you guys should give me a free pair of bindings, basically. It was like a bunch of run-on sentences because he doesn't know how to write with typos. And Kobe was just like, this was his response. He looked at this and he's like, I'm not even going to respond. He just clicked delete, block. Why? Because that motherfucker doesn't shop at any of their local shops, never shows up to any of their events. Okay, I don't like Union bindings. I just don't like the way they ride. They're not for me, okay? You want to know how I got 2 pairs of Union bindings this year? I got up from right here, walked down my stairs, walked 2.5 blocks down to Main Street to the Underground, walked in, walked up the stairs, said hello, walked up the next set of stairs, walked over, looked up, grabbed a set of size medium forces, walked down to the counter, put them on the table. They rang me out. I put my card in the chip reader, and I fucking paid for them. I did that twice. Bought a set of Union Forces and a set of Atlases. Why? Because I needed to review them for people so that the fanboys would shut up, and because I knew that it supported the local shop, it supports the rep, it supports the fucking industry. I could sit around and beg for some free shit, but I don't. I did it. You're going to pay your dues. And that's the thing. Like, Jimmy Fuckhouse doesn't pay his fucking dues. I paid my dues. You're going to pay your dues. If you want to be in the industry, you want support, it's a two-way street. No one gets a fucking free lunch. Someone's got to pay for that shit somewhere. So what are you doing in return? Oh, you want free product because you're a rider? Cool. So you're getting your snowboard, your bindings. Why are you bitching because you broke your board because you 270'd and freaking had it angled too wrong into a flat bar and it cracked? It's not the board's fault. You didn't hit the feature right. It broke. So why are you bitching when they gave you that free board? Now you're making that product look bad when people are like, oh, I guess he rides for him and he did that. He's bitching and moaning about it. You should be grateful for what you get and always be willing to work for it. Like, I don't need to go to a demo anymore and turn screws for people. I still do. Like, my local LibTech rep, Matt, great dude. Worked with Mervin for, I think now 23, 24 years. Super great dude, right? I'm walking through Center Village a couple years ago at Copper, and I look over, and he's got a line, and it's just him. It's like Winterfest or whatever. So I walk up, and I was like, yo, Matt, you good? And he's like, I'm drowning. And I was like, threw my board behind the counter and came and was like, who's next? 4 hours later, I finally left. That's the big thing. That's the big thing right there. It's like going and doing that for him. I didn't have to do that. I didn't do anything. But that built a rapport between me and him. He knows that he can count on me to do that. You know, my friend Nick, that's the Rosnell rep. You know, one day he's having some issues loading up his truck. I just walking by and I'm like, yo, you need help? And he's like, yeah. So I'm just helping him load that shit up. It's that community that you build with these people. It's that relationship, you know. The guys at Telos, all the guys over there, so Eric, Ben, all of them, Levi, that work over there, they were like, they straight up said they go, we wouldn't have the sell-through if it wasn't for you just riding some of our product. And I was like, you guys make great product. I have no problem telling people about it. I have a platform to tell people about it. And Telos makes great boards. And they've made some turds, like the blunt and stuff, so they went back and they revamped it. But Ben, the CEO, straight up said, he's like, you probably drive 50% of our traffic for sales. One person doing that. That's what you need to be towards any brand that you work with if you want more support. Because you need to be willing to put in more than you're going to get. And there's nothing wrong with that. You don't need to be entitled. You don't need to do anything. Like, for years, my local K2 guys gave me K2 boots. The new guys, I could probably get stuff from them, and they've mentioned it, but I was in a pinch. I didn't want to bother them. I know it's been a rough year, so I just said, fuck it, and went and ordered some. I just bought it from a local shop. It wasn't even in their territory, but the rep in that territory, that's one of his accounts. It fucking helps them. So, yeah, that's how you do it. Okay, so we got the next one here from Anonymous K. What are your thoughts about getting into learning about snowboarding and the snowboarding industry by working at a snowboard retail store? That is the best thing you can do. So almost any person that works in middle management, upper management for any snowboard company started at a shop on some level. They did. You know, I got my start at Holiday Valley's rental shop, of all places. I started in the ski check, worked my way up to the boot area for the rental shop, got to the regular rental shop, and all the time I was still working. I would go over to the high performance shop and tune shit. And I would go in and be like, you guys got some stuff that needs to be tuned? And the older guys would be like, yeah, we're going to the bar. And I'd be like, okay. And I'd tune all the shit for them because I could do it and I was getting paid and I learned it. And then I went and I worked in shops and I learned more skills and I learned my reps and who my regional riders were and who was doing what and all that stuff. A shop background, no matter how many people will try to shit on you because you work in a shop, they're like, oh, all you ever did was work in a shop, is the cornerstone of a foundation in the snowboard industry. It teaches you how to approach customers. It teaches you buying, logistics, pricing, how to read what a product is, marketing, everything. It is such a fundamental base for you to go on to other things. Like, this is one of the issues I have with James Beastie at the Good Ride. That motherfucker's never worked in a shop and he's trying to sell snowboards. That dude can't sell a fucking snowboard to anyone. I wouldn't buy one from him. He's a fucking kook. But that's my issue. Like, if he had at least worked in a shop, he would be a different person. He'd also probably know how to ride without all his weight on his back foot. But that's a whole other story. That's the thing. Like, working in a shop will build those fundamentals for you. Okay, so we got one here from Michael Cooley. Do you think that events such as X Games and Dew Tour are actually detrimental to snowboarding because they only focus on the corporate bullshit side of our sport and their energy drink athletes instead of real snowboarders and what the culture is truly about? Yes! I mean, you watch someone spin a 1440 triple cork mute, you're like, I can't do that. You watch a Yagoons at it, and you're like, I could set up a corrugated tube like that. And that's the big thing right there. I think, you know, whenever people, like my family's hilarious because they're so out of touch with stuff. My mom tries to explain to them what I'm doing. My grandmother thinks I'm a ski instructor. The rest of my family thinks that I do something to, like, try to get to the Olympics. And they're like, so you're going to the, and I was like, no, I'm not going to the fucking Olympics. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I do snowboard reviews. That's what I fucking do. That's it. Like, I swear like a goddamn drunken sailor, and I ride product, and I make it better, and I help people find the right product. I'm like a sleazy car salesman, except I'm not in a suit, and I get to snowboard every day. That's it. I'm not really sleazy because I'm a little too honest, but that's my own fault. But that's the thing. Like, those big events, like whenever we had Dew Tour here at Breck, they'd be like, it's going to bring 200,000 people. It's going to help all of our local business. Our local businesses are like, oh, great, it's Dew Tour week. No one's going to fucking be here. There's no parking and shit. And like, I'd have friends that would have to work in the athlete village or the sponsor village or whatever the fuck it was. And they're like, yo, we show up with like 50,000 fucking free t-shirts and we have to give these to people that, what are they going to do? It's probably going to fucking become a jizz rag later that night when they're banging a hooker in their hotel room. That's what it is. Like, those events, that's like the most sanitized, washed down bullshit where you look at it and you're like, support natural selection, people. Support Holy Bowly. Support Snowboy Productions. shit like that. Support the Yagos. Those are all key things. Ugh. Okay, let's see what we got here. We got one from Dr. Crimp. What is the biggest and most radical change that ever happened in snowboarding? Resorts allowing us to ride there. Anyone that says anything else doesn't get it. Like, we'd all be hiking fucking golf courses with Sorels trying to do this shit. Like, most of us would have given up by the time we were in our early 20s because the resorts didn't allow us. So being allowed at the resorts has been definitely the biggest change that ever, and most radical change that ever did anything for snowboarding. Anyone that says different doesn't get it. So thanks, Jake. Thanks, Tom. There we are. Okay. We got one from Grungy Poo. What do you think is the constant in trying to improve your snowboarding that is beginner to intermediate to advanced? What is one thing that everyone should be looking at, focused on consistently to improve board skills overall? I love this question. The second I saw this question, I was like, this is my favorite fucking question. Hands down, that we got for this contest that we're doing. Turning. I don't care who you fucking are and how good you are and how great you think your board control is. You should always be turning and working on perfecting it. I remember 3-4 years ago, I did a full loop carve on my heel side edge on a metal GNU from GNU, which had the wrong core in it because I think it had an HP core in it. It was the only way I could do it. But I did a full loop on my heel edge at A Basin. And I remember sending Kevin a message being like, I've hit the pinnacle of my snowboarding. I've done a full loop on my heels. And he's like, how? And I was like, I have no fucking idea. It was sloppy and it was ugly. I would love to do that again and make it look amazing. Every time you're out snowboarding, whether you're a beginner or an expert, turning, board control, edge control, that teaches you so much about your board. Those little subtle nuances of just moving your ankle just a little bit and how it can dig the edge in, change that drive, whether kicking your knee into the center of the board and causing the nose to elevate will change it, or whether you're driving from your back foot while sitting on that heel edge and pushing outward so it puts more pressure on that tail. Those subtle defined nuances are something that you can perfect, like golf, every time you go ride to make you a better snowboarder, to make you understand your snowboard. And by doing that and learning all those movements and that muscle memory changes the dynamic of every board you ride. You understand subtle flex points versus aggressive flex points in a board. You understand that when a board is weighted, you can depress the front foot a little bit and change that angulation of the carve, or you can push harder into the front of that board by rolling your foot just a little bit and pushing down into that binding while lifting up on the heel, and that'll change the whole thing. This is the most fundamental skill that is so overlooked because everyone is like, my favorite are the people that are like, I can carve after 3 days. You can skid a fucking turn. You might get on your edge as you're about to fall over on your toe and just, and you call that carving. Sure. But do you understand how to torsionally twist a board, driving your toe down and driving your other toe back up on your back foot so that it changes the whole thing right as you transition from toe to heel? I doubt it. I doubt you do. That is such a thing that so many people don't understand. And when you learn all that skill, it changes the dynamic of riding full camber, cam rocker, directional camber, S rocker, hybrid, reverse camber, triple camber, quadruple dog shit camber, flat to rocker, flat rocker camber, flat camber rocker. You know, it changes that so much, and that nuance in how the board actually drives and how your ability is. Like, one of my favorite things to do is to just go rip on whatever board I'm on a bunch of deep, hard carves, toe and heel, for like a lap or two when I'm testing, just to see how it reacts, just to see, because sometimes it surprises you, sometimes it doesn't, you know. And then shifting your weight and throwing your body into the nose of the board, or throwing your hip into the tail. Those are the key things that so many people overlook. That's the skill set that'll follow you everywhere. Like, you want to know why Pat Moore is so good at board control? His spins look so good in the backcountry. He grew up riding an icy-ass half pipe at Waterville Valley. That's edge control. That's insane edge control. Like, I have good toe side edge control in the half pipe. My heel side is okay. If I really spent like a week or two just riding half pipe, I could get it back to where it was. I don't really care. But that edge control and understanding those subtle shifts and nuance, that makes all the difference in the world. That changes how you pop off a lip, how you hit a side hit, how you recover when you're torsionally twisting a board and it hooks. You know, it's how when you're buttering and you're sitting on that tail and you're facing downhill and it starts to catch, how to set the board down and put it right back on the toe side or the heel side. That's the thing. You know, so that's the skill set that everyone kind of overlooks. And so I know we're up to 122 people, and people are like, hey, you're not answering my questions over here. I know people are like, what the hell's going on? This live stream was really for the 20 questions video that I put out. We just wanted to try something different over here, see how it is. I don't really like this format. I don't think we're going to go with it, but I'm just going through these 20 submitted questions. Then I'm going to give every one of them a spin on the wheel. Someone's going to win a snowboard. And then after that, I'll probably take some people's questions. We'll see how tired I am. I've had a fucking long couple weeks. So, all right. So we got one from Ed Mainza. As I get older and less concerned about shredding the park and more so about just having a gnarly good time, what do you think are the most important factors in snowboarding longevity, e.g. staying somewhat fit, appropriate snowboard gear, etc.? You always see 70-plus-year-old skiers cruising down the mountain, but nowhere near as many snowboarders that age. Well, one, snowboarders tend to be younger, but you can always check out Shred Ahead Snowboarding. I love those octogenarians. Those guys are the best. Jim and Ted's Excellent Adventures over there. Those guys make me stoked that someday I'll be in my 70s and 80s being able to snowboard. But staying in shape is the big thing. Always doing that. Exercise bikes, just low weight, high repetition, stuff that just keeps you tight. And doing that, building up that leg power. Wearing footbeds in your boots, in boots that fit perfectly. That is key. Like, if you don't have good arch support, your arches are collapsing, your ankles are getting weaker, your knees are getting weaker, your hips out of alignment. That's throwing your pelvis out of alignment, which is throwing your back out of alignment, which is hurting your vertebrae. You need to do that. Eating the right foods. I mean, yeah, okay, I eat like a fucking dumpster in the winter. I'm just like, oh, sugar, pizza, tacos. Fucking awful. But you know what? I try to balance it out by trying to eat more healthy where I can. More salad, more fresh fruit, vegetables, stuff like that. Stretching, yoga, exercises like that. Keeping your flexibility up. Keeping your heart rate at a point. Like, I've got friends that they'll make one powder lap with me and they're like, and they're like, I can see their heart beating. And they're like, they look at me and they're like, you're not even breaking a sweat. You're at resting heart rate. I'm like, yeah. That's what I do. You know, I get myself into that consistency. And that goes back to the last question I answered. Learning edge control, learning board control, learning how to react when something, building that muscle memory so when you get into a sketchy situation, you're not like, I'm going to die, and you're just going to fall. You like learn how to ride it out and protect yourself. Learning how to properly fall. Believe me, you don't want to be one of these guys that never learned how to fall. I mean, take a tumbling class at a gymnastics school or something just to teach you how to properly fall, get your weight around, stuff like that. It helps you. You know, there's so many things that you can do to help you, like balance boards or clutch. They will help you. They will do things for you. If you can take care of your body now, you can prolong it to keep riding. Like, I was joking around with one of you guys leaving comments on this week's top 5. And he's like, you're not that old. You know, I'm sick of people being like, you get so old, you can't ride. And I was like, to quote Indiana Jones, it's not the age, it's the mileage. I have a lot of high mileage injuries on my body. I mean, I'm missing some organs. I got like no cartilage in my knees. My elbow doesn't fully extend anymore. That's as far as this arm extends from dislocating at my wrist. Yeah. That's not healthy. That's not healthy. You know, I got all these other health issues. I go to the gym to build my body up so I can keep beating it up every year. And every year, you know, sometimes I pick up a new trick or I lose a few tricks. There's also nothing wrong with knowing when to start slowing it down a little bit. Like, I'm 38. I'm going to be 39 in December. I kind of had to actively make the decision that I can only hit certain size jumps anymore, certain sized rail features. I've kind of gone for more lower impact snowboarding. Why? Because my body can't handle it anymore, and that's fine. You know, there's a shelf life on all of us. We're all going to die at some point. Once you come to terms with that, do what you feel comfortable with. Like, I can push the button and send it when I really want to, but I can also pull back and be like, I'm just going to be mellow, go cruise, do my thing, you know? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to get longevity and still be snowboarding in your 70s, 80s, and stuff like that, take care of your body now. Do what's right. Fucking put down the Diet Coke. Freaking stop eating the Krispy Kremes. Stop guzzling down the all-you-can-eat buffets, although I don't think those exist anymore. I don't know. R.I.P. Golden Corral. R.I.P. But yeah, you know, take care of yourself, and you'll have longevity. I mean, people always ask me like how I ride 100+ days every year, and I'm just like, it's taking care of myself over and over and over again. What you guys don't see is the stretching, the foam roller, the inversion table, the hitting the exercise bike every morning before I go ride, the going to the gym in the off season and building up a ton of muscle, you know, and doing stuff like that. Though that's how you get longevity. So yeah. Okay. All right. And let's see, we got 3 more questions, and then we're going to start spinning the wheel, and then, you know, we'll see how I feel. All right, so we got Luke Dudgeon. I'm seeing more expensive boards being released above normal inflation. Do you think they are worth the money, and is this the direction of the sport in the future? So what's going on is we're using a lot more higher-end materials and stuff. Like, I rode the K2 Alchemist today, and, you know, that board's got a lot of technology in it. It's got a lot that demands that price, you know. It makes sense to me. We're going to do there. I think for the longest time, snowboarding's been kind of stagnant in prices, and they're going to go up. I mean, we haven't really inflated. Like, you look at the price of skis versus a snowboard. There's always going to be price points that are still good and stuff, but then there needs to be like those fucking Ferrari boards where you're like, oh. You know, your eyes glaze over and you're like, oh, I got to touch this. It makes sense. But at the same time, if we use more of these higher end materials and they're being used more, the price will drop, price will go down. We'll see it trickle down into other models. It makes sense. It's an ebb and flow type of thing. Like, I can remember the first time I ever saw a $600 snowboard. Then there was a $750. Then it was $1,000. Then it was a $1,500. Then it was a $2,000. Then you got that bullshit fucking Dior board that's $8,000, which is, it's a fucking turd. It's a fucking turd. But you look at that stuff and you realize where the trickle-down technology can go. And when you see it trickle down, you see the price points start to drop. You also see, as they do that, new stuff come on the market, which sits above it. It's going to happen. But it's an ebb and a flow thing. The other thing is there's a lot of great products that are mid-range. Even some of them are like on the lower price point because it's trickle-down tech from stuff that was high-end 4 years ago. It's great. I mean, I rode K2 Indy bindings for like 10 years because it used the old Formula chassis. And I loved the way that chassis felt. It was a fucking $169 binding. I ride a $530 binding now. Do I need a $530 binding? No. What I probably should be riding is like a Rome Vice. Fucking, this thing would be solid for me. It's like 200 and something bucks. That's all I really need. You know, once you start being realistic of what your needs are, do you need those hindboards? Like, I want a Ferrari, don't get me wrong. What am I going to do with a fucking Ferrari? I don't know, take it for a drive every Saturday, then wash and wax it and put it back in the barn and not touch it again? Cool, did my 20 miles on it. That's good. You know? At the end of the day, it's not utilitarian enough. So, yeah. Okay, so we got the next one from JP. Typically, or on average, how many days of use do snowboards, boots, and bindings get before they should be replaced? So there used to be this thing where they would try to make it around 100 days of use because at the time the average rider was going 15 days a year, so they get multiple years. And now the average rider goes less than 5 days a year, so they kind of try to make it like around 50 to 80 days. Like, you know, shit. Let's see. Yeah, actually I do. Okay. So like my old K2 Thraxis is here, right? So I could get super stiff boot. I could get about 100, 120 days out of the boot, and then it's just toast. You know, it's creased, it's broken in, it doesn't have its rigidity, the liner's packed out, stuff like that. And I'm fine with that. I got my money's worth out of it. You know, like bindings are the one that, like, their shelf life is so friggin' long. I still see people, like, I was joking around with my boy Bruce the other day, right before Copper closed. We were up top of Sierra, strapping in to go hit the Union Meadows cornice wind lip, and this guy comes blowing past us with an old set of Burton Freestyles from like '98, and I was like, oh, I had those when I was like 16, still riding them. I wouldn't trust the thermoplastic on them because it's like fucking 20 plus years old, but you know, I typically get about 5 years out of a set of bindings, which I have 3 pairs of black labels. And so you figure I ride 2 boards a day. So I'm rotating through, and I ride about, let's just say 100, let's just go with an easy number, 150 days a year, right? So each one of those is getting 50 days of use as I rotate through those 3. And I have them for 5 years. That's like 250 days use on each of them. It's solid. Boards are a little different because if you take care of them, they will last forever. Like, I'm still riding a first year K2 Cool Beam, and it looks good. It's got like one little chip in the tail and one little dinger in the base I got to fix, and the edges need to be sharpened. Still looks good. Still rides good. It's a little softer in the nose than it used to be, and it's a little softer torsionally because it's been hammered on so much, and I'm probably going to retire it and get something else for next year. But that board probably has about 175 to 200 days on it since I got it. You know, it's good. There's no like defined age limit, and I'm actually going to make some videos while I'm on vacation, so you guys can watch them starting in June when I go on vacation, about lifespan of different gear and like what to look for and whatnot in there. But I wanted to answer this question on this. And okay. So we've got the final question out of the 20 questions, and this comes from Jimbo5631. Has technology in terms of phones, cameras, and the ability to share footage easily over the last 5 years or so through social media oversaturated the marketplace, making it more difficult for brands, publications without an established following, etc., to get ahead above the noise? Is this a trend you see continuing into the future, and how do you think it will affect the sport in the next 5 years to come in terms of innovation or technology or culture? Oh, this is a great question because you can pay to play with this. And here's the thing about this. You look at a shitty company like No Bad Day, right? They dumped a shitload of money to buy Facebook and Instagram followers. And it just expanded it for them. You look at people that pay for that to grow it and inflate that number, and you can do it. Like, I've seen snowboard publications suddenly they gain 100,000+ people overnight when they've never posted anything. Doesn't make sense. You can do that, but what happens is you get this proliferation, like Instagram, for example. I can share it to my story and be like, oh, someone click it and watch it and click it and watch it. It makes things more digestible. So what I think we're going to see is more longer term projects where it's like, oh, so-and-so put out his 2 or 3 year project. And you're, oh, that's cool. And at the same time, you're also going to see a lot more like quick Instagram edits and stuff. I mean, there's guys out there that have huge followings that just literally make Instagram edits, 1 minute of them riding, and it's fine. It's fine. It's not a bad thing. I think whatever gets you stoked. I mean, I'll sometimes be on the chairlift just scrolling through Instagram being like, oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. That's so cool. Like, I've got local guys that I follow here And I'll be like, oh, Phil and Kyler are just fucking killing it. And I'm like, oh, I never thought of hitting that feature that way or something. And then there'll be like bigger guys I follow, you know, like Yagoons or like Scotty Stevens. Like, oh, that's a really cool way to look at hitting a feature, you know, and it'll inspire me while I'm riding. And I think it's only going to change that way. I think snowboarding industry itself tries to be like more like, we're going to stick with print media, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, just embrace the fucking future, assholes. Like Slush Magazine's doing top fives on Instagram now. And I'm like, I was doing it first. And it was my weekly top five. That's fine. They can have that Instagram one. They're going to be screwed when I hire my editor and we start making weekly and daily content for Instagram like that. But I think it's only going to grow. And it's not a bad thing. Like, where you get your content. You know, I mean, if you haven't checked out the microdoses mini documentaries from Absinthe Films and stuff, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool stuff. So I think we're going to see more documentaries, and I think we'll see things grow that way too. So yeah, anyways, that's the 20 questions that we took, or that I took for you. So we're gonna spin till someone wins that Rosinal sashimi. And then maybe I'll take some other people's questions. So first up is Dr. Creepy. Smash that like button, people. Next up comes Bobby Semkova. Oh shit. Well, she just won herself a set of goggles. So that's off. The bonus prize is already out. So that's cool. That's cool. Somebody won those already. Stoked. And for everyone that's bitching and moaning, I didn't choose your question. You know why I didn't choose your question? It probably wasn't that good. Up your game. Or it was too much like someone else's question. I had to look at that. But don't worry. I'm basically giving Snowboard away every fucking month of this year, bindings or something. So there'll be a chance next month to win something. All right, so we got Scott W. Middle finger. All right. Our boy Ken Schulman here. Nobody there. All right. Trevor Klassen. Wheel needs to be recalibrated. Okay. We got Hunter Gunnip. Let's give this some upward. Ouch. Lose a turn. Okay, we're going with Osiris. Well, remember to wear your masks, people. We're slowly getting through this pandemic bullshit. We're getting there. We're getting there. Stop spitting in each other's mouths. All right, we got Jared Ray next. What's Jared getting? R.I.P. to L Stacker's Adventures. R.I.P. to the troglodyte we banned for life over a year ago. Okay, we got Alex Chen. Damn. Loving that troglodyte. We got Rusty O'Neill 21. Ooh, reverse spin again. Going for it. Okay, we got Rye Fry. So I think this summer I'm buying a Plinko board. We're going to play Plinko at some point. So, all right. So, okay, we got Archie Forrest. Ooh. Oh, there you go. Won himself a small sticker pack. Sweet. And for anyone that's in the last live stream that won, or was it 2 live streams ago? I can't even remember, that won bindings or something for me. I just haven't mailed them out. I've been super fucking busy. We had a death in the family and shit, so I will get that shit out. Okay, we got Anonymous K. Remember to subscribe, people. Remember to subscribe. We're doing contests all year for you guys. All right. To the man, the myth of the Mid-Atlantic, Michael Kulig. Wash your hands, because I can't wash my soul. We got Dr. Crimp. Grungy Poo. Somebody's gonna win something today. Fuck. All right. We got Ed Mainza. Oh, wow. There we go. Let's get the sticker pack. And for anyone that won a sticker pack, they've all been mailed out for this month. If you're a member of Angry Snowboarder VIP, the sticker club service, they're mailed out. The May ones will be going out in another week or so. Okay, we got Luke Dudgeon. Yeah, Plinko is coming. We're going to be doing Plinko. We're adding Plinko, which I got to figure out how that's going to work. That's going to be really fucking interesting. But yeah, Plinko, and it's not midget Plinko. Like, I can get a board that's like about this high, so I think that's about 6 feet and stuff, and about 4 feet wide, 5 feet wide, something like that. So yeah, we're gonna get that. Okay, JP. JP's getting a small sticker pack. And to Jimbo 5631. All right, well, we're gonna have to start over here from the top till somebody wins a snowboard. But for some humor for you guys, I have recorded about 50 different explained videos, but I did 2 on Gilson's soft edge technology and their butter pad. That's going to be real fun for you guys. So, yeah. Oh, well, someone says this sucks. They can, you can go into timeout. Goodbye. Okay. Okay, so anyways, I'm going to take a few questions before I dive back into spinning for everyone else here. So let's see what we got here. Okay. Yeah, sorry if you feel this is boring, but, you know, this is what we're doing. Let's see. Okay, well. Okay. All right, Well, we're going to go with a super chat from Osvaldo. Need some stickers. Also, my Signal Yup is a great board, but does suck in ice. Do I just need to sharpen them really good? Yeah, probably. Need to learn some better fucking edge control. That's the way to deal with that. So, yeah. Well, there you go, Osvaldo. You won yourself a fucking small sticker pack. All you got to do is email me. Info@Angry Snowboarder. And I'll get that in the mail to you. All right, so we're going back. We're going to spin this. Starting again with Dr. Creepy. Someone's got to win this fucking snowboard at some point. All right, Bobby's turn. She won goggles last time. Oof. Pray to the altar of snowboarding. Scott W. Ken Schulman. Woo! We're spinning! Ugh. Also, if your season's still going on, I hope you're out getting it after all. We got a nice little medium powder day with heavy wet snow this week. It was nice. I hope everyone's out riding. So, besides Plinko, what other games would you guys like to play on here? Give me some comments down there. All right, we got Trevor Clausen. Well, RIP to the troglodyte. And we got Hunter Guynep. Plug our official sponsor, which is my wallet today because I bought this Rosinal sashimi we're giving away. All right, this is for Osiris. Oof. And Jared Ray. Somebody's got to hit some point. Oh, fuck. That was so close. I'm just getting over spinning this damn thing. All right. Alex Chen. Oh, you're teasing me. I'm tired of spinning. All right. Rusty O'Neill 21. Somebody win this fucking thing. And remember, fire cures everything, including that raging case of crabs you have. Plus, it bakes them and you can eat them for sustenance. Don't eat your crabs. Rye fry. Oof, so close. All right, we got Archie Forrest here. Anonymous K. Somebody win this damn thing. I'm over it. Oh, you son of a bitch. You're just taunting me now. Okay. Michael Kulig. It just never ends. It never friggin' ends. Dr. Crimp. Grungy Poo. Yeah, we're never doing this format ever again. This is too much. I'm fucking over this. I'm over this. It means it. Oh, come Come on. You're so close to getting... Give someone this fucking board. The wheel is a cruel mistress. JP. And then we got Jimbo. Well, that was uneventful. Jimbo won some stickers. Oh my god. How the hell does this happen? Thing was freaking hitting the last time. People won 2 pairs of bindings. This is ridiculous. All right. Let's see what we got here. Take a question and let's see. Okay, we got Bryson Hubert. Rehabbing an ACL. Workout suggestions. Low grade squats, if you can, like where you stand on a stair and dip down with your heel elevated. You do that. Exercise bike, mild retention bands, stuff like that. Walking's always a good one if you can actually walk. Get that going in there. Swimming is also key as well. Let's give you a spin button. Well, Bryson, you just won yourself a jumbo sticker pack. And there's new stickers. So you know the drill. Email me, info@angrysnowboarder. We'll get that in the mail to you. All right. Round 3 for the people that submitted their 20 questions. Going for Dr. Creepy. Someone win this fucking thing. I'm over it. All right. And for Bobby. For Scott. For Ken. Kill me now. Kill me now. Kill me now. It never fucking ends. Trevor Clausen. For Hunter. Oh, come on. You were so close. Just stop on the damn thing. All right. For Osiris. Oof. Ouch. Jared Ray. Okay. Alex Chen. Kill me now. Just fucking kill me now. Rusty O'Neill, 21. Oh my god, you were almost there. Just win. Right. I'm going to have a mental breakdown. That's going to be great. Archie Forrest. Okay. Anonymous Kid. We're going for a big spin. See where this thing takes us. And for anyone that thinks the wheel's unbalanced, I counterbalanced everything with washers on the backside. It's counterbalanced. But I think the bearing's going bad. Michael Kulig. Dr. Crimp. Ancient Dr. Crimp. Are you Dr. Death? Come kill me now. Grungy Poop. I seriously figured this thing was going to hit, like, in the first, like, 10 or 15. Ugh. Ed Manza. Luke Dudgeon. All right, well, Luke's winning a sticker pack. Woo! Medium. Yeah. Okay. And on to our boy JP. Oh, you son of a bitch! You dirty, dirty, dirty. Oh, that's awful. Ugh. So close. So close. You see that? This is like one away. This is bullshit. All right, for Jimbo. Oh, you cocksocket. Okay. Well, now we're up in the stakes. Because why not? Ugh, what's been on here a long time? Probably the oldest on here. The middle finger. Ugh. What's going on? All right. Let's okay. Richard Medico. Avran is bringing the toaster with him to the tub tonight. The tub? Oh, no. I'm taking a flying swan dive off the gondola right into Park Avenue. I'm fucking dead. Kill me now. All right. That's where I'm going. Ugh. Okay. Dr. Creepy. Nope. Bobby. God damn it, Bobby. Alright, it's gotta be. Kill me now, people. I want to die. I'm fucking over this. Oh, you son of a filthy, filthy whore. She's taunting me now. For Ken. Kill me. Kill me now. I got videos to edit. Everyone been stoked with the binding reviews starting to finally drop? Kill me now. For Trevor Clausen. There we go. Nope, wait. Oh, yes. Okay, good. Finally, done. Over with. All right, if you got questions, let's get them in there. I got you. Let's do this. I got questions to answer for everyone. Give me your questions, all of you. We'll do spins, too, for Super Chats. But you're only winning stickers because I'm not giving away another board or anything else today. I'm over it. So there we go. All right. Okay. Anyways, yeah. Here we go. Okay. Let's see. Finally, it hit. Okay. Kevin Huntley gets a spin. All right. Let's see what we got. Well, there you go, bud. Yeah, won yourself a medium sticker pack. All you got to do is email me, info@angrysnowboarder.com, and give me your mailing address, and I'll get that in the mail to you. All right. So, yeah, if you got questions, get them into the chat. I'm going to try to answer them here for a little bit. All right. Let's see. We got Andrew Bailey gets a spin. Plug the official sponsor, My Wallet. Thank you. Okay. Nicholas Rashawn, forward lean, same, front and back, been experimenting. Have fun with that. Fuck forward lean. Your boots already have 15 degrees natural in it. If you need more, go for it. I don't care. Do whatever you want. I don't believe in it. Just doesn't make sense. Okay, what else we got here? We've got Charles. Is the Nitro TLS lay system any good, or does it not stay tight? It's gotten better. The good thing with the TLS system is you can Allen wrench and take the locking hub off and basically turn them into a lace boot if you absolutely need to. It does work, but back in the day, they used to pop out a little bit more than other people. So, yeah. Ugh. Okay, what do we got here? Let's see. Yeah, so get those questions in. I'll answer them. If you super chat, you get a spin of the wheel. You can win stickers. We friggin' answered the 20 questions that people submitted. I'm over it. Maybe next week I'll do a regular live stream. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got here. Okay, we got Paul WB. I see women riding unisex volume shifted boards, sometimes at the same size I would ride. What place does volume shift have for women who are medium-ish to petite? Honestly, they're probably on a board that's too big, and unless they got a big foot, they're probably struggling to get the thing edge to edge. I've watched a few women do this too, and I'm like, yo, you should be on like 2 sizes lower. I had a girl argue with me the one time. She's like, you don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, I'd ride the 51. You got a size 6 foot, and you're maybe 110 pounds. You'd ride better on the 44. And she was just like, nah. Turk Loco, thought on rail savers for stomp heads? What the crab grab rails? Like, I don't know what the fuck rail savers are. Is that fucking bullshit top sheet sticker thing that they put on? Like, just buy a crab grab. Oh my god, I'm coughing. I got the Rona. Oh, by the way, I got the second shot of Pfizer and I didn't die. So for anyone that's like doubting what to expect from it, basically you're really tired, your arm kind of hurts, and you might get a low-grade fever. Just make sure you're hydrated before you go in, and please get vaccinated so we can get back to our regularly scheduled lives. I really miss like the little amount of socialization I would allow myself. It'd be nice to get back to that. So yeah, but if you believe in conspiracies, now I'm a 5G network, so I got cell phone signals radiating out my ass every time I fart. So yeah. Okay, Dominic Jacobino. Jacobino. Learned to ride on a full rocker board. Time for an upgrade and looking for something more stable. Rad Dad type on the East Coast, no park. Get yourself, if you're coming off full rocker, like get yourself a cam rocker. So like maybe like a Jones Frontier, maybe a Rosnell 1. You could look at like the Yes Basic or the Yes Basic, or even the Yes Unink Basic, which is full camber, but it's a mellow camber, or like a Rome Agent, something like that. Should get you where you need to be. That is a fucking retarded ass question. Oh my god. Michael Kulik, the K2 excavator looks a lot like the dance hall in shape. Any similarities, or is the K2 stiffer? They ride nothing alike. They ride absolutely nothing alike. The K2 stiffer, it's wider. It's got a different side cut on it. The flex pattern and the flex points. It's better for. I rode it on a pow day, and it's a pow board. It's a pow board that you can carve with, and it's not as stiff as I thought it was going to be. But my god, was that thing just amazing for cutting through the heavy chop on it and shit. That board was phenomenal. Like K2 has crushed it in the. So I've ridden the Instrument, the Excavator, and the Alchemist this week. Fucking crushed it on all 3 of them. They're all super good boards. So, yeah. Andrew Bailey, what did L Stacker do to get the boot? He's a fucking troglodyte. That's all he needed to do. He's a fucking troglodyte. Goddamn mouth-breathing, cave-dwelling, inbred fuck. Stupid fucking troglodyte. Guy's a fucking succubus on the ball sack of YouTube snowboarding. Fucking down there just eating the shit off people's taint. Yeah, this is perfect. R.I.P. to L Stacker. It's an ongoing joke with us. We fucking booted his ass. Like the whole fucking community turned on his stupid troglodyte ass and his girlfriend's ass. Like, fuck him. Dude's not a fucking snowboarder. He's a person that snowboards that just keeps attaching himself to online personality. I wouldn't be surprised if that dude just spends all day bumping from whoever's live streaming in any category. Like, oh my God, fuck that guy. Ugh. Okay, Aaron Black. What are similar boards to the K2 Alchemist? Got one this year and it rips. Interested in more boards like this. So I would check out the Amplid Safari. That was kind of the closest one. To an extent, the Y from Yes is kind of like it, although it'd probably be closer to the Jones Aviator. To an extent, the Rome Ravine Select is, I hate to say it, no, scrap that. It's not really that close to it. Let's see what else. I'm trying to think. Why did I just brain fart that one? But shit, just haven't taken my time. What was it? Oh, the Nitro Super Team is pretty close too. Or you could go to the Nitro Highlander. The Highlander would probably be a little more closer, but it's a little stiffer. To an extent, the Solomon Mans board is also very similar to it. Okay, from Cesar Guerrero, just wanted to say thanks for the snowboard gear shopper Sherpa help. Save me a lot of money and possible disappointment. Yeah, so we got an online shopper on angrysnowboarderstore.com. There is a link down below in the description. If you're struggling to buy something, you need advice, you can always hit that up and I'll email you. We'll go do a little chit chat back and forth, get you dialed in. It's a great way to just get a faster connection to me than leaving a comment or waiting for a live stream. Jesus freak. Why was my question skipped? What the fuck? Probably because it sucked. I don't know. There's a lot of questions that just fucking sucked. I started reading it. I was like, this is really fucking specific or not something I care about. Up your fucking game. It's not that hard. Okay. All right. Okay, Tron. Avran, thoughts on Devin Walsh getting a ride with Wired? I'm both confused and aroused by it. So what people don't understand is Devin used to ride for Option with Rob Dow, the owner of Wired. They're friends. Like, they hang out, you know? So Dev came to the end of his DC contract, and Rob was making him custom boards, and they were just like, fuck it, make me a pro model. So I should get one in the fall because they were, like, playing around with shaping on it. But I should get one in the fall to ride. I'm stoked. I mean, like, Rob and Devin are friends. It's a local company for him. Dev still kills it out in the backcountry when he goes out. It's the perfect. He's more like an ambassador than a pro model. You know, it's great. Let's see. Edmonds, would you recommend the Wired Vantage or the Niche Maelstrom for a more playful all-mountain freeride board, or are they too stiff? I'd go with the Vantage over the Maelstrom. The Vantage will be more playful. The Maelstrom is a little more directional than people think, and that taper is a little more aggressive. Great board. Love that board. But, yeah, the Vantage is probably the better one to go with. Meyer Eshkenis, is the K2 instrument similar to the LibTech Dynamo? That's a very fair assessment, yes. I would have to go with yes. Okay. Paul WB, opinions on A-Bomb or other heated goggles? I struggle with fogging, especially this mask gear, but when riding, love my flight decks. I mean, they work, if that's your thing. I mean, the bigger thing is if your goggles are starting to fog, when you hit the chairlift, grab it by the corner and pop it so the air circulates back through. You know, it's been a shitty year. Like, I've killed 2 goggle lenses this year from it. Yeah. So, okay. Let's see. Oh, God. You going to fucking ask me that question? You get put in timeout. There you go, dipshit. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Let's see what else. Kevius Billy, rotator cuff surgery fund after all those spins. Fuck, all this money's going to the new puppy. That thing's gonna destroy the house. I'm scared shitless of this little beast. Fucking, why did I buy an attack dog? My rotator cuffs are already fucked. They need to be replaced anyways. They're wallowed out. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. Jesus freak. Is the Tech 9 Powder Wolf worth a spin, or should I spend my money elsewhere? I mean, if you're trying to save money, it's actually a cool shape. Like, the boards I stress, were. Not sure where they're built now. Coming out of a decent factory, but they were built cheap with lower end materials. So, I mean, if you really rail them, they could break. In all honesty, if you're trying to save money, I'd start hunting around on some of these closeout deals because there are stuff with weird shapes that are being sold. It's just a matter of if they have your size or not. So, okay. Let's see. Bobby Simcova, can we see the puppy? No, you can't see the puppy because I haven't picked her up yet. Pick her up on Saturday. Fucking thing's going to destroy my house and my car and everything. And anyways, I'm not showing her until I get over 20,000 subscribers on this channel. Once I do that, I'll consider showing her. But her name is Baroness. I'll tell you that much. Her name is Baroness. So she is adorable. She cost a lot of money. She's a land shark. Scared shitless. Let's see. Oh, well, okay. Well, unsubbed. Okay. Put user in timeout. Bye. I don't care. Okay, Scott, got a deep 3-inch base chip that runs along an edge. Is it worth filling or just time for a new deck? I mean, if it's a chip, that's a weird one. Because, like, if it comes out in a full chip, that usually means that the epoxy that attaches the core to the base and that has that, it means that the PTEX has some issues going on there. What I would do, rather than fill it with PTEX, base weld the fuck out of that thing. Like, slather some epoxy in there, fill that with epoxy, and then get it base welded with some hard plastic in there. See if it sticks. If you're really cheap and you want to do it the most ghetto-ass way possible, this is super ghetto. I cannot recommend this. Put down some epoxy, 2-part epoxy, marine grade. Make sure you use more resin than hardener. Put a thin layer in there. Seal that bitch up. Then take a water bottle or something like that, twist it up, hit it with a torch till it's melting the plastic, fill it down on the top. It's going to look awful. Make sure you wear a mask or you're in a well-ventilated area. You don't want to breathe that shit. Fill that thing up. Take a razor knife after it's cooled. Flatten that back out. This is the most ghetto way to fix it without really being super spending a lot of money. And then see if anywhere else along that base it starts to pop out. If it does, time to get a new board. So, yeah. Ugh. And no, I didn't name the dog after fucking Trump's retarded child. Fucking named it after the greatest character in the history of G.I. Joe, the Baroness. She was beautiful, sexy, and conniving at the same time, and that's exactly what this dog is. Beautiful, sexy, and conniving. Fucker's gonna try to eat everything I own. Ugh. Gable Stapler 19. Heard that a lot of companies had to switch manufacturers and went to Meditech. Thoughts? Not a lot. I think it's like 2, maybe 3. That's it. From what I've heard, it's not that big a deal. Factory changes happen all the time. As long as you have good quality control, it's fine. If you don't have quality control, that shit's going to be fucked. Okay. Anyways, if you got questions, get them in the chat. I'm going to try to answer them. Super Chat's get a spin of the wheel. We finally got someone to win the sashimi. I'm not sure what board I'm giving away next month. I got to figure that out, and we'll go from there. Ugh. Anyways, let's see. What do we got going on here? Okay, we got fizzled. What is a solid board for hauling ass, plowing through rutted out crud and not getting bucked around or feel anything? Ooh. So you might like the Nitro Highlander, the Amplid Pentaquark, to an extent the Libtech Dynamo, although I'd probably go with a Gremlin. Or what's the other one I'm thinking of here? TRS. Libtech TRS is kind of up there for dampness as well. Let's see. The Yes Optimistic. And I think that gives you a good bit of options. Okay, Aaron Black, do you recommend going to a boot fitter or trying to DIY following your tutorials? I mean, if you can go to a boot fitter, go to a boot fitter because then you don't have to deal with all that shit. It's like, as long as they know what they're doing and they're competent, you're fine. If they're incompetent, you're fucked. Okay, Tron, have you ever ridden the Dinosaurs Will Die Power Reaper? Oh, yeah, I love that board. It looks ridiculous, but I've seen dudes riding them at Seymour. So I rode the first year Power Ripper on like a 40-inch day at Loveland and managed to get a core shot like this long, like on it. And that one, the tip kick was so aggressive, it didn't matter in steep snow. It was like a plow and it would just slow you down. But they since decreased that, so it funnels the snow back out. But the Power Reaper is a super sick board with a unique shape. Okay, Bull Owner could use a few new stickers. Yeah, well, I could use a new sole. Well, we're going to plug the official sponsor for today, my wallet. So, yeah. Michael Kulig, how are companies, tuning shops, company shops going to deal with 3D shaping as far as structuring a base goes as they become more mainstream? Well, they're either going to have to develop some kind of new wheel belt tuner thing to go along with it, or what you're going to do is all the flat sections going to be structured and the grooves aren't, and that's kind of how it's going to be. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Any more questions? Oh, we're pittering out. It's been 2 hours. I think we're going to call it for a day, folks. I'll be back maybe next week. Maybe not. I don't know. We're winding down the season here. I got shit to deal with. But, yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for everyone that submitted a question to the 2020 questions video contest. We will never be doing this format ever again. It did not go in how I wanted it in so many ways, shape, and form. But, yeah, if you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really like what we're doing over here and you want to support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. I could tell you more here, but we got a video over there that explains what membership is all about. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in another video.